Hey guys, you're with Sam and this is The Rant, the podcast where we discuss life, death and everything in between. So sit back, relax and enjoy the show.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Damo, my friend, how are you?
I'm awesome, man. How are you?
Good, brother. Good. Welcome back for part 2 of our little chat. We got a little bit cut short in part 1. I think it was your anniversary.
It was probably something like that, was it?
It was, and you decided to come and fucking podcast with some random dude.
Look, man, I'm here for everyone. You know? My wife and everyone else.
How long ago was that?
April 4th is my anniversary.
Okay.
4th of the 4th.
Well, fuck. Thank
Can't
God you
forget
remembered
that shit.
Thank God you remembered that, bro. So that was when we podcasted last. That was fucking almost 2 months ago.
Yeah, that would have been just, well, that makes sense because, you helped me set up mine and I probably waited like 5-6 weeks for half my stuff to turn up.
Yeah,
So,
and you're still waiting.
and I'm still waiting for some of it, yeah. So I don't want to give the store a shout out. But if I was a DJ store,
You probably wouldn't take
I
2 months to get a
wouldn't.
cable.
I probably wouldn't buy my stuff from them.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's quality stuff.
So you just mentioned it there, podcast. What? Let's chat about what's happened since April 4. Obviously, a lot's happened with COVID. You own a gym. You've been out of there, not been able to train for fucking how long now?
Well, it was March 23rd, and I think this is the 9th week. Or no, this will be week 10. So we've been shut 9 weeks today.
Yeah.
And so, oh man, it's fuck, bro. It's been a roller coaster. It's something that I guess like everyone's in the same boat. So it's not like all about me or just me, but oh man, it's something I never thought I'd experience. Selling a house, opening up your dream gym.
Yeah.
Everything that I thought that I wanted as a martial artist, be it a hobbyist, an amateur fighter, or a professional fighter. That's what I tried to open up. I mean, I still want to build on it. I want to make it bigger again.
Yeah.
I want more, machines and strength conditioning equipment. I want to study more, and I want to be able to provide in one location what I needed for my whole career.
Yeah.
Now, that's not like to take away from anyone else because, man, I've had a hell of a career and the coaches and training facilities that I've trained out of have been phenomenal. But I spent a lot of time in the car over the last 10 years,
Yeah.
And that's, you go from a strength conditioning gym, you go to your kickboxing gym, you go to your MMA gym, and you might go see your mental performance coach, then you got to go see your therapist, and I want all of that in one location. Now, you can't do that straight away.
Of course.
It's a lot of money, and you don't have members, and you got to build up to these things. So that's the goal in the end. And I never really thought inside the first year. I mean, we shut 2 days for our first birthday, so
Yeah.
I never really thought that it was just going to be closed like that. I guess, I've spent the better part of the last decade training 3, 4, 5 hours a day and always having something to do. And the last 12 months been like coach in the morning, take my son to school, train again, pick my son up from school, coach all night. I did that 5 days a week, and then it's literally like a single press conference by the federal government and they're like, you're shut.
It's over. Yeah.
It's like Sunday night, 8 o'clock.
Yeah.
Guess what? Tomorrow, your gym, and not just your gym. Like some people could take their work away from them. They can still do other things. But like my gym, my son was pulled out of school.
Yep.
And then my training, because I train in gyms as well, all my training's shut as well. So like I had no gym, so no job, no business. My son's at home full time, which is fine because that's gangster as I love spending time with him. He's the funniest kid ever.
He's a fucking menace.
Yeah, so good, man. He's got a great right hook on him. But and then my training's taken away. So not only is my job taken, but then my coping mechanism for
of course,
PTSD and all the rest of the stuff. Just life stresses.
Yeah,
is taken away as well. So it's just like everything swept out from under you. And, you know, like I said, it's not just me.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people.
Mate, I think a lot of people are going through it, but everybody's circumstance is relevant. Like they're the ones that have to go through it. I understand the fact that, you know, we all say, you know, there's other people out there that are worse off, but still, you still got to go through it, you know?
Oh, yeah. I mean, there's always people who are worse off, you know? Like I get comfort in the fact that when they said gyms are shut, I never feared, doubted, or at all felt any negativity towards whether I was going to open again.
Yeah,
I was
of course.
Just no doubt in my mind whatsoever.
Yeah.
My gym would reopen again. It was how I was going to get through the middle part.
Yeah.
Whether it was 3 months, 6 months, 3 weeks, or 12 months, it was going to open again. You know, like the government, the problems that I have is the government said, oh, you can get these loans and you get this and you get that. Now, I shouldn't need to go and get a loan because someone shut me down.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You shut me down, then you shut all the overheads that I have off as well.
Yeah.
Like, you can't just shut a business and then go, oh, by the way, you got to pay electricity.
Still got to pay everything. Yeah.
You got to pay rent. You got to pay all this. Like, is it rubbish?
have they done that, or is it just sort of like a landlord issue?
No, like it. So the federal government, it really comes down to the states, which is what's rubbish. You know, federal government can say what they want, but it's really the state parliament, the state leaders that need to bring legislation and stuff in to make it happen. So the government handed down a mandatory code, which is, you know, means that tenants and landlords need to enter into a reasonable negotiation based on their lost revenue.
Yeah.
So we use my gym, for example, 100% lost revenue, right? Doors shut, members not paying.
Yeah.
The ones that are paying for PTs that I'm going to pay back later. So they're paying in lieu, right? So we have loyal members who, you know, want to help the gym out, and in return, the gym offered free seminars and free personal training. So 100% lost revenue, even if it was like 75, let's use 75 as a figure, like a reasonable negotiation based on the federal government's announcement on April 8 was that the landlord should reduce rent based on the equal percentage of lost revenue.
Yeah.
It was 75%, then it was meant to be made up of part deferral, part waiver. So they should have reduced the rent by 75%. Part of that would be deferred and part of it would be waived.
Yeah.
However, there's a lot of landlords out there. Like, I got mates who own gyms, and their landlords just straight out refused to enter into negotiations.
Yeah,
so
right.
what's going to happen is a lot of people are just going to find themselves in court.
Yeah.
Like small claims or whatever it is, just fighting, you know, landlords that have a shit ton of money.
Exactly.
Man.
And the toll that takes coming out of something like this, especially if your gyms has to shut because of that factor.
Yeah.
Going through that legal phase, man, it takes fucking ages. Eh?
Oh, it can take years, you know, like essentially, like by the time, you know, the problems flow on. Like, say I got like a 2-year lease left. At the end of that 2 years, I'll still be in court fighting over 15 grand or 20 grand,
100%.
30 grand, whatever it is. Like some bullshit small amount of money. It's it's a large amount to a lot of people, but it's a small amount in business. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's you'll be in court fighting over this when I already offered to pay 50%.
Yeah.
So they just said no. So it's like it's just rubbish. It doesn't really need to happen. I get it, like it's business. You know, they've got a business to run. I've got a business to run, which is why it should have come down to the government. It shouldn't be up to me to sit in court with a landlord. It should have come down to the government to go, you shut however much revenue you've lost, you need to show your books to your landlord. Your landlord reduces your rent by that much. Done.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you're going to shut a business, you got to shut the overheads.
Yeah.
You can't just shut a business.
Yeah.
So anyway, that happened, and you know, we're 9 weeks in, going on 10, and now we're faced with the fact that there's, well, I don't know now, but there was 12 active cases in Queensland statewide.
Yep.
And we still got gyms shut.
Yeah.
So that's probably like, you know, it went from the lifestyle change, the routine change, the financial uncertainty through to what the hell are we doing right now?
Yeah.
You know, the government is coming up for election soon.
Yeah.
I imagine they're probably trying to do the right thing by themselves as well as the right thing by the people. And to be honest with you, like, I know from my own experiences, I've had a fair bit to do with pubs and clubs, probably not from the working aspect, but from the celebrating aspect.
Yeah.
And I can assure you that being in a pub or a club is not good for my mental health, the same as what gyms are.
Yeah.
Everyone says they're breeding grounds for bacteria and all this sort of stuff, and there's contact. Oh, man, when you're sitting there having a conversation with someone, there's a reason why Woolworths, Coles, and every other supermarket has put plastic screens up.
Yeah.
Because people can't talk and keep the spit in their mouth at the same time.
Yeah.
So when you're 12 beers deep, you definitely aren't doing that. You know what I mean? Like if this is a airborne, bodily fluids exchange, bloody bacteria, virus, pubs and clubs are the worst places to be, but they pay the most amount of tax.
Yeah.
So, it's not really, gyms should be open, like, restrictions in place, 4 square meters per person, maximum 20 people, whatever it is. People should be allowed to go back to the gym. It's better for their well-being, their mental health, physical health, than going to a pub is.
100%. Man, I think, obviously unprecedented times. Like, I honestly would not want to be sitting at the top of the table, going through this and being the figurehead. Like, I think the PM overall, mate, he's done the government's done a great job. Obviously, I see it from a different angle. I'm not running a business or anything. But from where I sit, I think it's an issue that's come up, and I guess you can only do what you can do without any point of reference, because this has never happened before.
Oh, I agree. Like I said, it's unprecedented times. I never thought that it was ever going to happen to me.
Yeah,
I didn't plan it. You know what I mean? When I kept a casual job, and everyone was like, "Oh, why are you keeping your job? You got a business now." And I'm like, "You just never know what's going to happen, right?"
Yeah.
Well, that never know what's going to happen was not a freaking pandemic
100%.
virus. I was like, "Oh, maybe I'll need my job one day. Like, what if my members don't grow? What if my business doesn't work?" Like, you got all these. Like, I'm like what you call a medium risk investor. Right? So I'm happy to go into business, but I want a backup plan.
Yeah.
Backup plan was my casual job.
Yeah.
Now, the backup plan was never put in place for a pandemic.
Oh,
that was going to fucking start from eating
not
bats in Wuhan.
On any level, mate.
Nah.
Crazy.
So, it's, oh man, it's crazy. But, like I said, it's a lot of people are feeling it. I have a lot of friends who are feeling it, who have gyms. New South Wales has allowed gyms to open from June 1st.
Yep.
No contact.
Yep.
We're still scheduled for like June 12 or something. And it's like New South Wales and Victoria were absolutely murdered with this.
Yeah, they had the worst number
with
of
this
cases.
like case thing, you know what I mean? And yet they're the first ones opening.
Well, I guess time will tell, man, whether that's the appropriate decision or not. Like, I think we can only go on. Well, we can't go on anything because it's fucking never happened before.
No, that's right. So and like for business owners, people going to the gyms and all that, they're just feeling it out, man.
Yeah,
so
of
you just got
course.
to take it as it comes. It was stressful at the start because it was like, what's happening, and it was easy to keep somewhat of a positive outlook. And the longer it goes, the more self doubt creeps in. You're like, oh, is it really going to happen?
Yeah.
Are we really going to open again?
Yeah.
When I open, how many people are going to leave? So all these negative sort of doubtful thoughts creep in, and but at base we got a wicked clientele base.
Yeah,
and our members
absolutely.
have been awesome.
Yeah.
So
obviously you've had the rug swept completely from underneath your feet, and as you said before, coping mechanisms. Your pretty much your routine for your entire adult life has been taken away as well. What have you been doing since, to sort of reinstate, that mental toughness and mental strength during this period? Because it's insanely tough.
Well, I'd be lying if I said that I'd stayed focused the whole time. you know, when it first happened, I started drinking.
Yep.
It's normal. You know what I mean? Like when back before, you know, when I got back from my first deployment or my only deployment, you know, I used to drink heavy and gamble.
Yep.
And then you know, it's like pretty easy to resort back to old ways.
So easy.
So I started drinking.
Yeah.
I got a little fucking crazy and had some online disputes with people.
Yeah.
Which got pretty hectic.
Yeah.
And then, you know, I just sort of, I don't really know what it was that snapped me out of it, but you know, I went for about probably 2.5 weeks, and I was like, man, this is shit. Like, I just couldn't get my head around what was going on.
Yeah.
And I knew that I needed routine. So routine's the key for me. Do you know what I mean? And I've always been like that, you know, like even before the army, I wake up, make my bed. You know what I mean? Like I always do the same thing, same time every day. Like it's boring as shit. You know
But
what
it's
I mean?
discipline,
Unless you're me.
man. It's like, discipline, and if that's what you need to sort of push forward, then
yeah. So I knew that. So I just set my alarm one morning for 4:30 and got up and went for a walk. And
you've just been doing that.
I've been doing it ever since. That's just
every
how.
day.
Well, you know, I can't make my bed first thing in the morning because my wife's still in it.
Yeah.
So, or in the room. So, you know, it's like I got to do something.
Yeah.
And so for me, it was like, okay, I'm just gonna get up at 4:30, have a drink, get on my bike and go for a walk.
Yep.
I took my dog for a walk. I put the most peaceful music that I could find on.
Yep.
So I play Metallica on shuffle.
Yep.
And I've played Metallica every morning for 7 weeks now.
So tell us the story about Metallica and why Metallica.
Well, Metallica, like, it was the first, Metallica and Pearl Jam were the first 2 CDs I ever bought when I was 16.
Yeah.
But why Metallica? So Metallica for me is the peace amongst the chaos.
Yep.
So most people be like, that shit's hectic to listen to at 4:30 to remain calm and peaceful. But for me, when I was in the Middle East, so I had the old Apple iPod. I don't remember which one it was, but it was like that massive one, right?
Yeah.
And Mrs. gave it to me when I first met her, and I was over there, and it just had a Metallica playlist on it. It had like 5,000 songs on it when she gave it to me. It had a Metallica playlist on it, and I listened to that playlist, man, fucking back to front, front to back, sideways, the whole time I was over there. And for 6.5 months, it was like the most peaceful time that I had was when my earphones were in and I was listening to Metallica. So weird enough, when I needed some kind of clarity and peace, and some normality back in my life. I've had a knee injury recently, so I couldn't go for a run or get on a bike, or I was struggling to even do squats because my knee was blowing up. But that's why I started walking, because I was like, this is pretty much the only thing I can do. So I started walking and I started listening to Metallica because it was the peace that I found when life was chaotic.
Yep.
So I put it back on and I felt the same. So I've just been listening to Metallica every morning since like 7 weeks ago when I started walking. I take Sundays off. That's it.
Do you think your 2.5 week sort of stint of, you know, falling back into old ways, getting on the piss and that, you know, is there a silver lining in that for you in terms of like you fell back but you caught yourself and pulled yourself out? I don't think that's fucking awesome, eh? Yeah,
look, I mean, you know, it's easy as a leader, you know, a gym owner and a coach and an athlete and someone who's meant to be like the fucking role model or, you know, whatever people look up to you as, you know what I mean? Like your family looks at you as different to what your wife does, what your fans do, to what your friends do, you know, and everyone knows you're different as well. So it's like you're always expected to be whatever they see you as. And that's hard, man. Like,
yeah, bro.
I actually had a coach say to me once, the most difficult thing about being a coach is that you still have problems as well.
Yeah.
But you have no one to talk to because everyone's looking up to you and everyone's talking to you.
Yeah.
So if you don't have a coach, then you've got no one to talk to. So you know, it was a nice reminder for me that, you know, I'm fucking normal when
dude, man.
emotional shit happens. But it's nice that I have control of it these days. You know, like a lot of people don't have control of it. So when you fall into those ways, that's where it stays.
Yeah.
You know, and that's how you become unhealthy, overweight, depressed, spiraling out of control. And it's nice to know that, you know, from time to time, we all fall off the tracks, we all fall off the rails, and that you're at a point in your life where you can pick yourself up, dust yourself off, and do something as simple as setting your alarm and going for a walk, and your life goes back to normal. And it literally did, man. Like, I started walking, and then I started doing stuff around the house, and then, you know, I was back to just doing normal shit, like making breakfast and, you know, go for a walk, make breakfast, train some people.
I think because we haven't been at work, you know, working from home, and you know that's a shock to the system as well, because obviously routine's a massive thing for us at work. You know, I did much the same, like fell off the wagon. You know, I enjoy beer, 100%, love a beer. But like you said, old habits in terms of getting on the piss and taking it in a direction that is not ideal, and you sort of start arguing with people, arguing with yourself first, that internal dialogue where you sort of start getting pissed off at yourself, and then you project that outwards. That's not good. But for me, like, man, I had to think outside the square. Like, what can I do? What can I do to sort of set my mind, you know, back on track? And starting this podcast was one of the things. And then that's just gone ballistic. And then little things, mate, like you starting your podcast, like, you know, helping you out with that has been very, you know, not therapeutic, but, you know, helping others and you know, giving assistance and spreading knowledge that I have to others, you know, like you as a coach, man. You know what that feels like.
Well, I think the thing is, like, for some of us, giving without expectation of receiving is therapeutic.
100%,
you know what I mean? Like,
mate,
some of us are givers. Like,
yeah.
You know, there's people out there who genuinely want to give you something with zero expectation of anything coming back. And, you know, that I'm like that. My wife would tell everyone I'm like that. You know, like, I give so much of my time and, you know, possessions, and, like, man, I literally, you know, I see someone that wants something that I have more than I want it, I'll give it to them. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Like, if I'm wearing a fucking shirt and someone's like, holy shit, I can't believe you got that shirt, I'll, like, take it off and give it. I have taken it off and given it to them, you know. People walk in and go, oh man, I can't believe you got UFC thongs. I'm like, I got a spare pair, here you go. Yeah. And they're like, what? Are you serious? You know, like, they want it more than I do. I don't need it. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? I got fucking 15 pairs of shoes sitting at my front door. Yeah. I don't need them. Yeah. So it's like, I would rather give something to someone and feel good about it than sit around and feel bad for myself. But I totally get it. Like, that drinking thing, you know, it's like, it comes back to, I mentioned it the other day, actually, when we were playing around with that new software stuff, that program that I got. And it's like Heston Russell talked about purpose. Yeah. And I get it. You know, like, that's the biggest problem for soldiers when they leave the army, right? We have routine. We're yes men, right? That's what the army wants. They want yes men. You tell you what to do, you go and do it, right? Because otherwise you get your ass charged. You get a bad record. So we're yes men, you know what I mean? And our purpose for most of them is the army. And it's like, when that changes, you need to get out of the army, which is what I did. You know, you got to have a purpose in life, you know. And my transition from the army was reasonably easy because my purpose was to fight in the UFC. 100%. That was my only goal.
Did you relate, like, you obviously related what Heston was saying
100%.
To yourself, because he, you know, he'd left obviously from his job, you know, high level antics, coming out and then having to readjust and find something. But he had a purpose there, and he'd found something that was going to propel him forward, and that he could put those skills and transition those skills into his new life. And it's the same as you, man. Like, you got a purpose. If you got a purpose, you're going to keep moving forward.
Well, I think like so there's two reasons you get out of the army. One, you got something else you want to do.
Yep.
Which is your purpose. Or two, you just can't fucking stand the people that are above you.
Mate, when I got out of the army originally in 2012, I disliked everything about it. And I got out for option B that you just said there because I just couldn't.
But then you discharged with no purpose.
And it was fucked, mate. I failed. And not only did I fail, I had no qualifications, didn't even think about that, had no savings, had a family to fucking feed, mate. You know, got into a job that was, you know, paying $600 a week when I got paid because, you know what, you know, domestic sort of construction's like, right? Mate, like the boss doesn't get paid, you don't get paid. And you know, my mental health, mate, went to fucking shit. And
then you resorted back to what you knew, which was rejoin the army.
After 4 years.
Yeah, so that's the thing, right?
Took me 4 years.
It's the army, military, fucking government. It's so easy to do, man. Yeah. Right? The jobs might not be easy. Yeah. You know, Heston Russell's an officer for SF as well.
Yeah.
So not only is he an officer and he's got to lead troops, but he's an officer in SF. So it's fucking. 100%. I don't know SF, but I've got no doubt that it's fucking three times as bad as what being a lieutenant in infantry is, because there's 21-year-old kids just pushed around by their sarge. But but you know, like the two options you got. One is you get out with a purpose, and the other one is you get out because you're like, fuck this shit. Yeah. And that is pretty much it, right? You see it all the time.
100%.
And if you get out with that option B, then one or two things happens. You really struggle to find a way, and you might find a way, or you join the army again.
Yeah.
And a lot of people do it, right? Because they're like, I'm earning shit money. I'm struggling to pay my bills. I'm not getting paid sometimes.
Yeah.
Man, I can go back and just get paid $2,000 a fortnight and pay $250 rent a week.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you? It's fucking easy to do, and you sit around and wait all the time.
And I think, mate, once you've gotten out and gotten back in, you've got a new perspective. Like, I got a couple of mates who have done it, and it was pretty much the same position as I was in when they got out, you know, re-enlisted and just killing it because you don't. I don't know what changes. Maybe it's just a perspective thing.
I think a lot of people join the army, right? So what time did you join the army? How old were you?
Originally I was 19.
There you go. So you're like 17 to 19 years old. People like join the army. They get out, don't know anything else.
Yeah.
I joined the army at 21. I had a trade.
Yeah.
You know, I knew what the world was like. I didn't get paid on fucking Thursdays sometimes. So I'd get paid the next week, and then all of a sudden I got a fortnight's pay in 2 days. Like, I've been there. And so, you know, I could certainly appreciate how awesome the army was.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people can join and they're like, this is shit. My sergeant's been a cock.
Yeah.
I'm sitting at work at 4:30. I haven't done anything since 1 o'clock.
Yeah.
I want to go home to my family, but why have I got to sit till 4:30? Because the OC doesn't want to leave.
Yeah.
Just all these like same things, you know what I mean? And it's like, you like just get sick of it. And so you get out, but you don't really know. Like, a lot of people don't really know what the real world's like. They've done 4 or 5 years, but they join the army at 17.
Yeah.
17 years old, they're getting paid $2,000 a fortnight.
Yeah.
Like, and then they get out and they're like,
you just don't get it anywhere.
No way. Like, and then you got to add up your rent. Like, I think it's something like $80,000 a year you need to get paid to be on the same,
at least, mate.
To be on the same level playing field as a pay group 3 infantry soldier.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. Lowest pay grade in the army, pretty much. And you got to be on $80,000 a year as a civvy to get the same wicket. Do you know what I mean? Like,
exactly.
People don't get it. So you got two options. You got to find a purpose, or you're gonna either end up back in there or with like transition problems.
Yeah.
And you know, going back to that purpose, I was very fortunate when I left. I had a purpose.
Yeah.
You know, I never struggled with my transition, but I certainly had times where the army would have been easier.
Yeah, sure.
Probably more so by the fact that I had the best job in the army. So
PTI.
So I got hours of PTI, and you know, I spent my life training other people, training myself, and drinking coffee, and that's a pretty good life, man. You know what I mean? Yeah. So, yeah, I think a lot of soldiers just need to have a purpose, and if you don't, like, that's where that drinking, drugs, gambling, transition problems all come into it.
Yeah, for sure.
And the transition out of the army is not helped by a shitty system.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Commenting on that's something yeah. Like I when I got out, the transition out was pretty straightforward, but I was pretty gun-ho on just
Getting out.
walking out the door.
Yeah, like
So I didn't really. It's not till after it was done for me that I figured out. Oh fuck! Like
Man,
I have walked into this without any thought whatsoever. You're a fucking idiot. Like, yeah, man.
I literally, funny enough, all these walks in the morning, I think about a lot of weird shit, right?
Yeah.
Which is better than me thinking about it in the shower. But I think about a lot of weird shit, and I was walking. It was literally probably like 3-4 days ago, and I was thinking about the transition from military and the transition from jail. Now, obviously, I've worked in jails for the last 7 years, up until recently.
Yep.
And for me, I feel like prisoners get better transition options and support than military do.
Like coming out of the system back in.
Yeah, because
back
this is the thing, right?
Normal life.
Both people, right? So you got a soldier and you got a convicted felon.
Yeah.
Right? For one of a very politically correct word. So I don't get my ass kicked. They're both institutionalized.
Yep.
Yeah. One knows they've got to wake up at 7:30 for muster. The other one's got to be at work at 7:30 for first parade. And they both go off and do their things. And then, like, funny enough, in the jail at 9 o'clock, you got first head count. At 9:30, you got first parade, or your second parade, right?
Yeah.
Then you got lunchtime, and they get locked away at their muster, and then you guys got lunch.
Yeah.
You come back from lunch. We come back from lunch. We unlock them. You come back from lunch. You come back to a parade. It's all the same shit.
Very structured, yeah.
Right? And then, funny enough, they go, prisoners are going to struggle. I say you've done 10 years. Maybe your POS machines have changed. Maybe you get out now, you got Apple Wallet.
Yeah,
Apple Pay, right? I just did Apple Pay 6 weeks ago. That shit was hard to get my head around.
Yeah.
Now, like, you got Apple Pay. Like, no one had Apple Pay 15 years ago, The army guy, he gets out, he's got to pay rent, but he's just been in DHA for the last 15 years. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's all the same shit.
That's actually a really good comparison.
It's the same shit, man.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? 4:30, you go home. In the jail, like, I'm not going to let you go back to your cell until 5:30, 6 o'clock when it's lock away.
Yeah.
So you sit there in the yard doing whatever you want to do, waste all your afternoon, same as the soldier does till he's told he can go home.
Yeah.
It's all the same shit, man.
Yeah.
Except the difference is they'll give the prisoner, convicted felon, whatever you want to call them, they'll give them, like, support, counselors, psychs, everything. And then, people that they'll get numbers and people they can see on the outside. They hook them up with, like, all their Centrelink paperwork.
Yeah.
They basically set them up. So they've got to have an address to go to.
Yeah.
Right? So they've got an address. Now, I'm not saying an army guy needs to have an address and all that shit, but the army should put them in a position where they have the ability to go and rent somewhere. It's set up. They have a job. Like, they need better support. It's the same shit, man. It's the same daily routine, institutionalized.
It is. It's a good point.
The difference between one is it's a jail and the other one's a job.
Yeah.
But that's what makes a soldier a soldier.
Yeah.
Is that they say yes and they're highly trained to do the job that they're trained to do.
Yeah.
They don't know any different.
I'd be interested to, talk to someone who's transitioned out recently. Like, it was, from what I can remember, I actually had Ian Bones' wife.
Yeah.
She was my...
Yeah, Linda.
Yeah, Linda. She was great. So my experience was, that's, I can only speak for myself, was pretty good.
Look, it's like the thing is it's just like in a pack. Right?
Yep.
Mine was the same. I transitioned out in 2013.
Yep.
You do a medical, and of course, if you want to get out, you pass your medical because you tell them there's nothing wrong with you. Physically or mentally, whatever, you just go, yeah, I'm good. Yeah, I'm good. You got any pain? No, I'm good. You know what I mean? And then, you fill out some paperwork, you see a transition officer, they'll ask you a few questions. Yep. No, I'm good. Yep, sweet. Okay, cool. Sign it off.
Yep.
Away you go. And you walk out the door the next day and you're on your own.
Yeah.
It's like, it's crazy. And there's not really the outside support mechanism, like support organizations, really. Like where the transition from the army, the transition officer says to you, if you have any dramas, you need to call this person.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So, yeah, I think that the transition from the military could be better.
Yeah.
Again, I think soldiers should stay in the army and appreciate it for what it is, the amount of money they get paid for the job that they have to do.
Yeah.
And find a reason to discharge besides the fact that you hate the person that's telling you need to be work at 7:30 the next day.
I definitely agree with that. And I think the biggest thing, man, is the purpose.
Yeah.
And the best thing, bro, is all these vet organisations that are coming out these days. And I said this to Heston, I think Declan as well. Like, they're stepping up. They're stepping up to the plate, and they're creating things that need to be created to support their mates.
Yeah,
Mate,
well,
and that's
it's priceless.
It's priceless.
I mean, the best thing is that a lot of the charities or support networks that are out there now are actually veteran run.
Yeah.
I know the CEO of Swiss 8. I joined the army with him in 2006. So he's a good guy. He's a massive unit, man. Adrian Suller. Yeah. He's a really good guy, and I feel like the more veterans that are involved with those kind of programs, the more passion they have for helping veterans. It's like anyone can go and start a veterans charity, but if you don't have an understanding or sympathy, or if you're not empathetic towards their job and an understanding of what they've done and what they're going through, then it's pretty hard to run anything that's meaningful. Yeah. So I think that those guys that go on and do that, young veterans and Swiss 8 and stuff like that, if they're veteran-run or veteran-owned charities, then I think that they're going to be far better, and that's what we're seeing now.
100%, man. It's like fucking Heston again. The dude's a genius. Said it really well. You got to be aspirational and relatable. And these veteran charities that are coming through, they are that, because you can look at them and go, right, these dudes are, they're vets, they've been and done shit, and they're relatable because they fucking know what I'm going through and they know what I'm talking about. Yeah. So I think it's phenomenal, mate. I think it's phenomenal.
Yeah, for sure. Speaking of young veterans, you got that run coming up?
Yep. So me and 3 other lads have started what we've called the 48 straight. Basically, I got a text message from Isaac, and he's like, "Hey, bro, do you want to do the Goggins challenge?"
And you were like,
"What the fuck is the Goggins challenge?"
But I'm in.
Yeah, literally. I was like, "What the fuck is that?"
Yeah.
And he's like, "Oh, it's run 4 miles every 4 hours for 48 hours." Yeah. And I was like, "Well, this is fucking that sounds stupid."
Whatever, I'm in.
Keen as beans. And then I took it to another level and was like, "Why don't we fucking wear a weight vest, or why don't we make something out of this?"
Yep.
Messaged one of the other boys, and he's like, "Man, that sounds fucking stupid, but I'm in." Like exactly what he said.
Yeah, dumb AJs.
And then from there we just started talking about it, and we had a few meetings and came up with the 48 straight. Decided to add weight vests into it.
So how heavy are your vests?
I think they're going to be 8. So the 2 4-kilo plates and the vest weighs, I think, 1.1 kilos. They're being donated to us by Krieger Tactical up in Townsville. Fucking legends. They got on board straight away. And then we decided to add in the no sleep. So we're not going to sleep. We're going to sleep dep it just for that extra challenge. And then upon further conversation, decided to add in the 3,046 push-ups over the 48 hours. So the 25 push-ups over 25 days or whatever that's happening at the moment. We grabbed that and decided to add that in and complete the 3,046 push-ups over the 48 hours. So I think it'll be 4 miles, 6.4 Ks, get back, do 254 push-ups or something, then wait for the next time. We do that 12 times. Yeah.
That sounds. And this is why soldiers fight wars. Because they're silly as. No, so and obviously since we've caught up today,
Yes.
Base Training Centre's on board.
You are fucking on board, man.
So we're gonna sponsor you guys.
Yep.
And we'll obviously sort out the details as we go.
Yep.
And hopefully we can get a bunch of other people on board as well. So we'll see what we can do there. But you guys are raising money for young veterans.
Yeah,
right?
we're raising money for the charity Young Veterans, mate. Our goal originally was $5,000.
Yep.
We launched it like on what was it, 2 weeks ago now.
Yep.
And within like 24 hours we'd done half of it, and we hit the 5K last week. And we're pushing $6,040 at the moment, I think. And our goal is, mate, to just keep pushing, gather the momentum. We've had a heap of organisations jump on board, not only yourself with what you've offered us, and the establishment to run the event out of, which is fucking amazing, because that gives us a lot of freedom of movement.
Well, it's the middle of winter, so we can turn the heater on for you guys. So.
Thanks, mate. I really appreciate it.
By the way, if you haven't been to Base Training Centre on Brisbane's north side, we have reverse cycle heating, so it's nice and cool in summer and nice and hot in winter.
Fuck for that.
So we'll provide that facility for you.
Isn't there only one fucking unit in the gym bar?
No, there's two. No, so we got obviously the shower and toilet facilities and that. So you guys can be set up, So
yeah, mate,
that's pretty cool. You guys
greatly
be able to do that, and we'll be able to fit it inside the COVID-19 COVID safe plan. And people can come check that out. I'll just turn your podcast around to me podcasting you.
Yeah, no, it's good. I've noticed how you did that.
But I just want to give that a shout out. And obviously, my gym and me in particular, I'm pumped to help you guys out in whatever way we can.
Yeah, mate. Much appreciated.
So yeah, that's gonna be pretty cool, man.
From where we're sitting, man, it's the veteran community as a whole. When you step into this space that we've stepped into, you're either gonna there's a bit of anxiety involved in it, because obviously people look at it critically. What the fuck are they doing it for? Who are they raising money for? What are they actually doing? What are they saying? And mate, the veteran community's jumped on board. At the end of the day, we're just three dudes who fucking want to put our bodies on the line and put our money where our mouth is to raise money for a veteran run fucking charity that is doing some amazing things in the veteran community, which is what we're about. It's only a tiny little thing, mate.
Yeah, but I think like what's like probably a lot of people don't realise is David Goggins actually military himself.
Yeah,
so
isn't he ever? Yeah,
it's like a former Navy SEAL.
Yep.
So former US military member is it's that he's who created it. The Goggins Challenge. So all these people out there doing it, it only makes sense that you guys jump on board
100%
and raise money for veterans as well. So, man, it's gonna be pretty awesome. I'm gonna watch because my body is fucked.
Yeah. It'll be interesting.
And I'm definitely not built for running. Yeah. So I'm gonna watch, cheer you guys on, make heaps of coffee.
Thanks, bro.
And be a part of it somehow.
Yeah, and mate, at the end of the day, that's being a part of it, you don't have to do it. It's, the people that are jumping on board. We've got people from fucking all over Australia, man, jumping on board, wanting to do the run or the challenge at the same time from where they are. And it's pure insanity at the amount of support we're getting. Tactical Recovery's sending us stuff. Force Element Performance is selling us stuff. Power Sups Albany Creek's donating stuff to us.
That's awesome, man. A lot of good businesses in Brisbane and a wider community.
Yeah, exactly.
Getting on board, so that's pretty cool. So, But man, it sounds like heaps going on.
Heaps is going on, but that's how I like it, to be honest. My brain works in a very high-paced way. If I'm not doing much, then I just go to shit.
Yeah.
Busier I am, the better it is for my mental health.
Oh, we're all the same.
Yeah, just because that's just how I'm wired, mate. Like I was up till 1 o'clock in the morning last night building a web page for the 48 straight so we can start getting shirts out to people, bro.
Yeah.
Like, and I love that shit.
Yeah.
I work fucking 24 hours a day if I could.
Oh, man. I totally get it.
Yeah.
I own a business, still compete professionally, run a podcast,
Yeah.
dad full time.
So
I love
good.
it.
So
It's
good,
awesome.
bro.
Gotta keep the mind busy.
Yeah, man. 100%. Well, what do you reckon we wrap her up there?
Yep.
Unless you got anything else to...
No, not really. But I guess like if anyone's listening, you want to do martial arts or fitness, come check my
bro.
gym out. Base Training Centre, 249 Leeches Road. Don't get the wrong 249 as we've discovered. Google Maps takes you up the road. So Good Price Pharmacy. We're in the same building. Come join us if you're a new member. We'll give you 50% off until the 1st of September. I'm pumped to get the gym back open again, and to deliver more martial arts to more people and give more people, the opportunity to find the same physical and mental positive sort of clarity as what martial arts has given me. So, but more, thanks for giving me the time today, man. Another chat.
Always. We'll probably do another 4,000 podcast. We're both podcast hosts now. So
don't listen to the rant, listen to the wireless. iTunes, Spotify, and YouTube. No, seriously, but we will definitely do another one. Let's catch up on mine next time.
Yep,
and we'll talk about the 48 straight specifically.
Sounds good, bro.
Awesome, man. Thanks for your time.
All right, brother. Thank you very much.